Hey there. I wanted to do a little bit of Newton with you. Again, there's a different approach behind the way Newton talks about a lot of this. It's very algebraic, and I think it's important that you know that that's not the only way you can do these problems, and the things we do in the workbooks directly translate here. So I'm going to go ahead and do some problems here. Calculate total cost of a 15-year, 20,000 student loan. Here we go. I'm going to copy and paste over to Excel, see if it works. Dun, 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 dun. Yay, all right. And remember, if you want to put this into like a paragraph form, you can do merge and center and wrap text. Okay, I'm going to zoom in because it's really far out. All right, so this is kind of a hard question because I borrowed this money and I'm going to pay it back monthly. And I have an interest rate of 4.5%. That's an annual rate. And I'm going to do it for 15 years. So really, this is a payoff table type situation. We've been working on the payoff tables. So for instance, um, we were doing this with a student loan of $80,000 and we were doing this payment. And, so it's like to figure out the total cost of the loan, you need to figure out how much you paid. But the kind of shortcut here is that if we know how much we paid every month and we paid the same amount every month, then we can just multiply that by how many payments we made, and that should be the cost of the loan. So that's my approach. This sort of sub questions. How much did I need to pay a month in order to get this done in 15 years? And then how much did I pay total? Right. And the sub questions for how much did I pay total are the monthly amount and the number of months. And by the time I've answered this question, which uses PMT, I'll know the answer to both of these other sub questions. So how much do I need to pay a month in order to get this done? So I know I have 4.5%, and that's a monthly rate. So I have to convert it from an annual rate down into a monthly rate. And then I've got my 15 years, which is 15 times 12. That's the number of payments I'm making, N per the number of periods. And then I have my value of the loan, which is $20,000. Don't put in the comma, but put in a negative sign. And it tells me that I need to pay $153 a month. And so the monthly amount is 153. The number of months is 12 times 15. So if I do 180 times 153, that's 27,540. And that should be the answer they're looking for. Let's see. 27,540. Boom. Right. And look at this crazy formula. I mean, yes, if you are given the formula, you can plug all of the things in and like, okay, boop, 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 boop. But first of all, there's a lot of order of operations, things that are happening here, a lot of things that could go wrong. And this whole thing leads to 153. That's what PMT does. That's the whole point of PMT. And it's one of the strengths of Excel and Google Sheets and all these other tools is that it has a direct way to calculate that. So I think that's really important. Let's look at some different problems here. Here, can I do one of these? No, it's gonna wants to go in order. Here we go. Use a table. What's the average daily balance of the credit card, June 1 to June 30? Oh, average daily balance is in kind of a fun problem. And I'm gonna go ahead and copy this in over Excel because Excel is our calculator tool. Here we go. Boom. Day one, activity, adjustment, closing balance. Right. So basically what I need is I need a table that gives me the number of days. And then I need the balance. And so the balance was 2,600 for day 1 through day 11. Now, my brain always hurts a little bit here, but I'm thinking that's 10 days of being 2,600. And then there were then a follow-up of 5 days where the balance was 1,300. And then there was a follow-up of No, so I'm getting these from subtracting, right? If I went from day 1 to day 11, that's 10 days. If I went from day 11 to day 16, that's 5 days. Then I paid, so then there was a balance of 800, and that lasted for 10 days. And then let's go back here and see whether this is June 1 to June 30. So it's 30 days. And so there's 5 more days in the billing cycle, and the closing balance is 300. So for 10 days, the balance is 2,600. Then for 5 days, the balance is 1,300. And so the sort of most direct way to do these types of problems is with a little trick where we multiply across. And all we're doing here is we're kind of acknowledging that what we want to do is, and this is really more of a statistics question that's in the financial section because it has to do with finances, but there's a little bit of statistics here where we're thinking about the mean and adding up all of these numbers. And if I have 10 2600s, 2600, 2600, 2600, that adds up to 26,000 because 10 2600s is 10 times 2600. So anyways, I add all those up and that gives me my sort of overall sum. Like if I had 30 different numbers, and that's really what I'm doing here is I'm saying, here was the June 1 balance, 2,600. Here was the June 2 balance, 2,600. And I'm going through the whole month and I'm adding up all of those numbers and then dividing by how many days there are, which is 30. So I need to finish this by saying this number divided by 30. So 1,400 is the average daily balance for this account. Whoa! And you can see they broke that down into, again, more of an algebraic, like, let's just plug this into an equation. I like the visual of the table and sort of thinking about how to translate this into this grid when I multiply across, add down, and divide by the total of this, which is 30 days. And, trying to kind of illustrate how this makes sense of what's happening instead of just saying, do this, do this, do this. All right, let's do one more problem. I'm going to switch again. Oh, I don't know if I can. It doesn't let me skip ahead to the thing. All right. $475,000, $80,000 as a deposit, require a mortgage for the remaining amount. Bank offers him. All right, here we go. I'm going to copy the question over to Excel because Excel is my calculator. Make a big space for myself. Merge and center. Double click, paste it in. Whoa. I'm going to see. It actually seemed like it worked better that way. Oh, nice. That's a lot better. Yeah, believe it. All right. So it's a couple of little kind of fine detail things over here. Round your answer to the nearest $10. Do not round until you calculate the final answer. That's good advice. All right. So I'm going back to this. So the property value price is 475,000, but he's making a deposit for what we call a down payment. And so we're going to take that off the top. So this is what's left to pay. Sorry, the down payment is 80,000. So what's left to borrow? The loan size is 475,000 minus the 80,000. Sorry, let me see. All right. And so I got a 25-year mortgage, 2% interest. Wow. Calculate the life of the total interest he'll pay over the life of the loan, assuming he makes monthly payments. Okay. So let's, again, think about this from a sub-question perspective. I know the loan amount, and that can take me towards, with the APR and the term, can take me to a monthly payment. So what is the monthly payment needed to pay off the loan? And then I can look at what do I pay total over the life of the loan? So that's like the first problem we did. And then if I know what I paid total, then I can see what did I pay in interest. That's what the amount over the loan amount is. And I always like to kind of do this with a similar situation. So let's say I am going to sell you something amazing. I'm going to sell you my computer, and my computer will cost you $200. But you can also buy it for $10 per month for 2 years. And so the total cost in that situation would be 10 times 2 times 12. Or let's let Excel do it. 10 times 2 times 12, or 10 times 24, because I'm paying $10 a month for 24 months. So it's $240. So if I do the payment plan, is $40 more than just buying the computer outright. So in that sense, then the interest, the fee, is $40 for doing the payment plan, right? So it's that part on top. Like if I could have just bought the computer outright, it would have only cost me $200, but I had to do this long-term plan that involves interest. And so what's extra? The final question is 240 minus 200. That gives me the fee. So the 240 minus the 200, what the total repayment minus the original cost if I didn't need to borrow the money. So here it's important that when I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about the 395, because although the price of the home is 475,000, with the down payment taken care of, really the part that's loaned is 395. That's what I'm focusing on. All right, I got a plan I'm going to attack. So what's the monthly amount? PMT. I got a 2% interest rate, unheard of nowadays. Of course, I divided it into 12 payments, 12 months, 25 times 12, and minus 395. Go. So it looks like it's about a $1,600, $1,700 almost mortgage payment. So over the life of the loan, 1674.22 times 25 times 12. Now I'll just point out there's an interesting thing here. You see I typed that number in. Here's the number without this, using the cell reference. So with the cell reference, there's actually a little bit of a difference here. And that's because this number, we're seeing it as money, and it's natural because it's a payment. But behind it, there's actually more decimals, which is interesting because from a financial perspective, we're paying the exact number of cents. Yet they did say don't round until the end. So I'm curious, whether this is the answer they're looking for or this is the answer. But I think the instruction about not rounding until the end, but rounding to the nearest $10. See if I can get over there. Yes, I think that's going to save us, because you see, it doesn't really matter if I round this to $10. I'm talking about 502,270, and that's going to be that's going to erase the difference between those two things. So what did I pay in interest? I just need to subtract off the loan amount, which was the 395. It's a lot of money. $107,000 of interest. That's a lot of money to the bank. The bank made a good amount of return on that. And that was only a 2% interest rate, which is unheard of these days. All right, I'm going to put that answer in. 107,270. Bingo, bango. Got it. And again, they're using this fancy formula to get to the payment. And you can see that they multiplied by 12 by 25 and then subtracted out the 395. So rounding it to the nearest $10. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Post this for you to review, and hope that helps you. Let me know if you have questions. Remember, you can send me text, ask me for a specific video if you're stuck on something. All right, keep working hard. It's all to the good.